Y'all, this is part 2 of Where is Mom and Daddy Going to Live? And in this segment, we are going to be discussing who needs to be present for this conversation. Now that we've accepted that we have to have this conversation, we need to know all the parties that are involved in this conversation and need to be either physically present or present by video, because you can set this up in multiple ways. With technology today, we don't have to be in the exact same space at the exact same time, but we can all be present, whether it's via video call or by phone, or we can video the conversation and send it to everyone that, again, needs to be aware of what the decisions are or what the thought processes are. Somebody that has a say in this conversation. A lot of times it's not just the children. You have the siblings of the the parent or the person that we're having this conversation about. So those siblings need to be present. They need to be aware of what's being discussed. It's going to be very important to prevent confusion, to avoid a fight. It's important that we know who all needs to be present for this conversation. Um, Again, I'm talking from a personal and a professional perspective. It was important that myself and my two brothers, their wives, even their children, our children, be involved in this conversation of where my parents were going to live. How were we going to facilitate the move? How was the sale of their property going to be facilitated? So, making sure that all relevant parties are there. Now, I know different cultures do different things, but it is so important that we are realistic and not just bound by cultural norms or societal norms. I know culturally, the Black and the Hispanic community, it is taboo still to put a family member in a assisted living or senior living facility, and we try with all of our might to keep the family member at home or in the house so they can age in place. And those of us who had to make the decision to put the family member into a skilled nursing facility, it was a challenge for me. Um, my Even my brothers, they were like, do we have to do this? There's no way they can stay at home with you. And like I said in the previous video, when we were having our home that we're in now constructed, we built it with my parents, well, what we thought would be sufficient for my parents to live out their final days with us in our home. And at the time, we still had 3 of our 4 sons living with us. So we thought having a 6 bedroom, 6 bathroom house over 4,000 square feet was going to be enough, and it wasn't. The bedroom that we had built for my parents, it actually wasn't big enough. We needed a bedroom the size of a hospital room. Think about the standard size of a private hospital room and the way that they can bring equipment, large pieces of equipment in and out. If you think about the delivery rooms now, they literally have everything they need in that room, to include things that drop out of the ceiling. So when you're having this conversation about where is daddy and mom are going to live, who needs to be present? And if it's the neighborhood friend or the siblings of the the parents, or let me just say the person we're caring for, the person that's going to receive the care that we're discussing relocating, who all needs to be present for that conversation for them. So in this case, we're talking about daddy and mama. So is it the children? Is it nieces and nephews? Who has a hand in deciding the type of care and where that care is going to happen? For me personally, again, with my parents, I did everything I could. My brothers and I paid to have home health care services in their home when they were in Georgia, and it wasn't sufficient because the companies were not able to provide 24-hour care, and with the limited care that they were receiving, I and my brothers would still end up jumping on and off planes and off the road, because I have a brother that was living like 3 hours and 20 minutes door to door from my parents. And then my other brother was 14 hours away from my parents. And I live a whole 24 hours away from my parents if we are driving. Flying, it still took me 6 to 8 hours, depending on flights and renting a car, to drive from Atlanta. So the 24-hour care, we tried that, it didn't work. So this is why I'm giving you insight into my experience so you can go ahead and start planning. And while you're having that conversation about daddy and mama, have that conversation with your children or your successor about you, especially if you are 40 years old or older. If you have a teenage child, start having that conversation now so that you all can start making a plan for even you for when you get older, or if you, for whatever reason, have a health situation that they got to ask, where's daddy and mama going to live? So it's important that we know who needs to be at this table. Is it just the children? Does it need to be siblings of daddy and mama? The nieces, the nephews, the friends, the neighborhood friend. We had my parents' neighbor help take care of them during the 2020 to 2022 shutdown. Thank God for her. We were able to send her money, and because she lived right next door, she would check on our parents like clockwork, morning, afternoon, and evening, and she made sure they had everything they need. She went grocery shopping for them. That was a miracle in itself. However, we don't want to depend on miracles, and we don't want to depend on the Good Samaritan. We want to have a plan, because if I had known then what I know now, I'm telling everybody that's within earshot of me, plan for this. Where is daddy and mama going to live? And have the conversation with everyone that's going to be involved. Yes, it's an uncomfortable conversation. Yes, it's a morbid conversation. However, it's a necessary conversation. Okay? Be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video, and leave your questions and comments so we can know what else we need to share as we do this series. This is the first series of many, but right now we want to focus on where's daddy and mama going to live. And the takeaway I want you to take away from today is who needs to be present for this conversation. Only necessary people that have skin in the game, people that are willing to put skin in the game. And it's not just money. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's assistance with helping them throw things away, moving. It's going to be important that all the necessary people be present for this conversation. The decision makers and the other necessary people need to be present for this conversation. Okay? Be sure to leave your comments. I look forward to seeing you soon. Peace.